Mama. Welcome to the One Income Family Podcast. I know just how difficult it can be to do fun things on one income, right? You want to be that mom who creates fun traditions and memories with your children that they and you remember for a lifetime, but you fear that they will cost too much for you to be able to afford, right? So let me stop you right there. You can create the best Christmas memories on a dime, and I am going to show you how right now. So go cuddle up with a nice warm drink, get comfy with them babies, and open your heart to God as we settle into today's episode. Do you find it hard to save or get out of debt? Are you constantly searching for ways to save money and live on a budget? Do you have big dreams only to be stopped by not sticking to your budget? Are you ready for financial freedom? Then you, Mama, are in the right place. Welcome to the One Income Family Podcast, where you will learn what it looks like to budget on one income, how to partner with God in your finances, how to budget in a way that's easy to stick to, and how to cut costs and save money, all so that you can start building wealth. It is my mission to equip you with these tools so that you can live in abundance regardless of the amount in your account. Hey, I'm Molly, a budget coach for stay-at-home moms, and I know what it's like to struggle on one income. I've lived paycheck to paycheck, relied on being frugal, and failed many budgets until I learned how to budget without tracking. This has allowed my family to pay off debt and build wealth all on one income. So, if you are ready for financial freedom, then go grab that stroller, plug in those headphones, and let's get to it. If you're ready to stop living paycheck to paycheck, then I want you to listen in as I walk through a budget audit and all it can do for you. A budget audit, simply put, is a way for you to learn what is going on in your budget. It will help you figure out why you are living paycheck to paycheck, why you are struggling to stick to your budget, where your money is all going, and then you will walk away knowing what steps you need to take to get on track. These steps, they will allow you to be able to do more than just pay for your necessities. You will stop living paycheck to paycheck and find yourself saving money, getting out of debt, going on vacation, and even having enough wiggle room to splurge a little, all while still living on one income. So hit pause right now and send an email to mollybennell@gmail.com letting me know that you would like to book a budget audit so we can get you booked today. Again, that's mollybennell@gmail.com. So that's MOLLY, B as in boy, ENELL @gmail.com. So growing up, my mom, she was sick most of my life, so it made it difficult to do all of the fun things for Christmas, right? From lack of money to not really being able to leave the house. But let me tell you something. I am nostalgic for those days. No matter how much money we had or the inability to leave the house, we still made Christmas a fun time. I am nostalgic, like I said, for those times because they were fun. They were joy-filled, together, connecting as a family. We may not have had money, but my dad made it fun anyways. And those, along with some that I have learned about as a parent myself, are what I am going to share with you today. You might want to have a pen and paper so that you can write these things down, but let's get into these 7 fun family activities that you can do with little to no money with any age of child. So, in no particular order, I'm going to start with going and looking at Christmas lights. So this is a simple thing that you can do. The only cost is driving, right? A little bit of gas money. And depending on where you live, this might be, a ways to drive. Like for me, it takes 45 minutes to get to those Christmas lights. But we usually make it a trip, like when we go and get groceries, that we then just drive around and look at all the Christmas lights. So where I live, there's something called Candy Cane Lane, and there's a street that everybody decorates the entire street. All the houses get together and they time the lights with the music on a radio station, and it is so fun, and it doesn't cost anything. Like, yes, we can donate if we want to, right? And they hand out hot chocolate, and that's something that they can use to keep going, right? But if you don't have that, you don't have to give money, right? But it's totally your choice. We also have something that's called Santa's Workshop at one of our local parks. And it is like a whole bunch of little houses with, and this has been going on for ages. So some of the figurines are like really old style Santa Clauses and Mrs. Clauses, but they're still really fun to see, and it's really enjoyable even for the children. I remember being excited to go and see that. It started at a different park, and it's gotten so much bigger that it had to be moved to a bigger park, and it's so fun to see things as they grow and progress, right? But that's something that you can do with little to no money. And then you can drive around and look at all the houses and the way people have decorated their own homes that aren't part of actual activities going on in the community, right? Which then kind of leads me into the next thing that you can do, which is going to a community events. This might take a little bit of time, like really digging into them and figuring out what is going on, right? But I went to school down in Arkansas, and they had this really cool Times Square thing that they went on. I even rode a camel, for Pete's sake. It was so fun. But I didn't have to really pay for anything. It was all free and part of the community. Here where I live now, there are things that you can go and see. Santa Claus, that's both in my small town that I live in, and I can also do it like at a bigger community in the bigger town that I'm nearby. But I can go and I can see Santa, or there's something that goes on at our fairgrounds that they put on. It's called a Winter Wonderland, and we went and got to ride in a horse-drawn carriage around the fairgrounds and look at all the lights that they put up for us to see, which was really fun. We got to roast marshmallows and make s'mores. We got to drink hot chocolate and do fun games that were inside, and that was all free to the community. There's also like Christmas lightings or fun things, like I said, on the square, or in my case, it's downtown. Things for children to do. They're even putting on a play for children to partake in. I don't know if this is something that's like there that they do that day, or if they have to go to practices beforehand, right? But it's something that I just looked up very quickly in the town and found all these fun activities that I'm like, okay, I kind of want to go to these things, right? It's super exciting and it's fun to do with little to no cost. If I want to donate, I can donate, and even a little bit of donation is totally fine. That's not going to break the bank, right? Because it's not like you're going out spending $100 on each activity. It may be $2 or $3 here and there for each thing that you want to do, because that's simply all the financial income that you have to put towards that, right? And God is okay with that. So don't stress over that when you go to do like the donations and everything. Something that I just learned recently that's going on in my little town not very far from me is they are getting together to cook cookies for the seniors, like, and to make up trays to give out to people in the community. And I'm like, that is such a good idea. And again, I don't have to put anything towards that. All I have to do is show up and help cook and help put it together and then maybe deliver it, right? There are so many things that you can do. You just have to take a little bit of time to look into it. And maybe that's not something you want to do. Maybe you don't want to go outside of the house, and that's totally fine. You can do things like putting up Christmas decorations. I know this can be hard with children, but then you can also this is like another thing you can do, make Christmas decorations that then the children can decorate the house or the tree with, and you don't have to worry about them getting broken, right? Yesterday, we actually went through a splurge of looking on Pinterest to try to find some fun Christmas decorations to make, to put on the Christmas tree so that I can put the Christmas tree up without going, okay, is my daughter going to tear everything down? So to ease my mind, I've just been looking up like things that I can sew or hot glue together, or, things that are made out of wood or materials. Those things I don't have to worry about. And even if she puts them in her mouth, it's not going to hurt anything, right? So that's something that you can do. You can try to figure out something that you can make together that even if she throws it around like plastic, it's not going to break or at least shatter. And if it does break, it's not that big of a deal. You can just throw it away and make a new one next year if that's something you want to do, right? So you just really got to get creative. And going back to like the Christmas decorations, like putting them up, you can put them up inside, you can put them up outside. Maybe you don't have the money for lights, or at least a lot of lights. Don't feel bad about that because they're not going to remember that. 1 or 2 lights is going to make their day compared to an entire fleet of lights all over your yard and your house. That's going to break the bank, right? When it comes to getting that electric bill. Trust me, I know that. But you get what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't have to be crazy. Just them getting to do it with you and have time to spend with you is what they are craving and what they want to do. They want to help you. They want to be there with you. And they want to put up those Christmas decorations. They want to make the Christmas decorations. So maybe make it a tradition where every single year you make one Christmas decoration together. That would be so much fun. And think of all the memories that you have. Every time you go to decorate the tree, you pull out an ornament and you're like, hey, we made this on this year and we had this much fun, or something silly happened, and you just get to reminisce and think about all the fun activities and things that you got to do together as a family. Okay, so then the next thing is make Christmas cookies. So essentially baking, right? So you can bake Christmas cookies, breads, pies. You can even make candies. I don't know if you've done that before, but like glass candy was a big hit when I was in high school that all my friends were wanting to make all the time. I've yet to make that myself because I don't really like the glass candy, but they look so cool and it's so much fun to make it and then just be able to shatter it because you just put it flat in a sheet, right? And then you just shatter it and that's how you get your pieces. But it's so much fun to be able to cook together. I know I mentioned this in a past episode when I was talking about hosting Thanksgiving, being able to just cook together and spend that time together and make the mess and clean the mess up together. Just that connection is so powerful and I am so nostalgic for it. I told my dad, I'm like, yeah, even though we're going to be bringing our own foods, I still want to cook together. My daughter is going to be with my father for Black Friday. We're going to go Black Friday shopping, right? And so while we're doing that, she calls him and is like, Papa, I want to make a pie. I want to make a cherry pie. I want to make blueberry muffins. I want to make banana cookies. And she just went off and on about all these different things that she wants to make. And I'm like, okay, now you're probably going to make some of this, but you might not be able to make all of it. So don't get crazy out of control if you don't get to do that, because we're in that phase, right? But she's so excited to be able to cook with Papa and with Sugar and be able to really make those fun memories together. Now, it may be during Black Friday instead of Christmas, but it doesn't matter when you do that. It's still a fun activity to get to do together. And then, you can just make them decorated as Christmas decorations or whatever's going on, right? But that's still a really fun thing to do. I remember making pies with my dad. That's something that he's always loved to do. So I remember baking with him. I remember making the meals with him and with the rest of the family that came over. So don't think that just because you're making food that you normally make all the time, which maybe you don't make breads and cakes and cookies and candies and pies and stuff all the time, but it's still like something you do normally, but doing it with them. And the key is being okay with the mess. I am struggling with that myself, but just being okay with the mess and knowing that everybody is going to clean it up. It's not just on you. Okay. So the next thing you can do, obviously, Christmas movies. I don't know if you watch like the Hallmark Christmas countdown or like Great American Family. They've got a Christmas countdown as well. I'm sure that there's other ones, or maybe you just watch it on Netflix or Hulu, or maybe you have some Christmas movies that you watch. I remember watching, what was it? Annabelle's Wish was my favorite one as a child. I don't even know if they have that really anymore. I haven't seen it anywhere. I've looked for it multiple times and not seen it. And mine is a VHS, and I don't have a VHS player, so I can't watch it. But that was my favorite one that I loved watching, and we would always watch it like the night or the day of Christmas, and then we would play games and all this kind of stuff that was just fun. Like, you don't have to have a lot of money to be able to make these fun activities happen, to be able to get together and connect and build like family and connection together. I feel like I just am saying connect, connect, connect all the time. Like Connect 4, you could play that. But you get what I'm saying. Like, don't make it that big of a deal. Like, if you want to make it a bigger deal, you could do something like an advent calendar that you do something every single day, which would make it fun, but it might be overwhelming. Or you could do like Elf on a Shelf, or if you don't like the elf, you could do Star on a Shelf. I've seen that one. Those ones are fun things that you can do every single day. Me personally, I think that's a little bit much to constantly be hiding the elf or the star, and my brain would just go crazy trying to do that, but it would still be a fun thing that you can do. And no, you don't have to go as crazy and extravagant as what you see on Pinterest. You can just simply go and hide it on a different counter or a different shelf or on the couch this time. You can make it simple. It doesn't have to be outrageous. Or you could make your children hide it and you be the one to find it. Like that's fun to reverse the roles. But don't make it overwhelming. Don't make it costly. Just do things that you normally do and add a little pizzazz to it, right? Just make it fun. That is all you have to do. You just have to put the fun in what you're doing, and they're going to enjoy it no matter what. You're going to enjoy it no matter what. I think we put too much emphasis on the fact that things aren't fun if money isn't connected, right? And I don't want that to be the case. I want you to break that thought. I want you to really dig into the fact that the things that are the most fun are not expensive. And the things that are expensive, you get 2 hours of entertainment and then you're bored with it, right? So make it fun by using your imagination. I know we actually have to dig in and use our imagination, which can sometimes be overwhelming when we've got so many things going on. But challenge your kids. Say, what do you want to do? What activities do you want to do? Now, when they're my children's age, 2 and 4, it can be a little more difficult because they haven't had the life experience that I've had. So coming up with things to do and making up games and all that kind of stuff might be a little more difficult for them, but still try it out. See what they come up with. Maybe they figure out a floor is lava kind of game, but with snow instead. Who knows what they'll come up with? They're children and they have vast imaginations, right? So those are all of the things that I have on my list, and I'm going to go through them again just in case you want to write them down. So number 1, look at Christmas lights. Number 2, find community events that are for free that you can do and enjoy. 3, put up Christmas decorations with or without lights. It does not matter. 4, make Christmas decorations, especially if most of your decorations are breakable, so that they can put them up as well and play with them throughout the season. 5, make Christmas cookies or bread or pie or candies, whatever it is that you want to bake for the season. And maybe you do it so that, like I said before, during one of the activities that my community is doing is for seniors. So maybe you don't want to eat the Christmas cookies because it's a lot of sugar, right? But you can make up plates of cookies and go and pass them out and give them to people in your community. That is something fun and exciting, and it's something that they can do. They can learn a heart of giving through that, right? That is so powerful. Number 6, watch a Christmas movie or read a book. I did forget to mention that, but reading a book is kind of with the movie. So whatever it is you prefer, if you prefer to read a book, if you prefer to watch a movie, whatever, that cuddle time and connection is powerful. And then number 7, go a little bit more crazy is the way I feel with these ones. And do an advent calendar or an elf on the shelf, star on the shelf, whatever you prefer to do, if that's something that you like doing. But those are all great things that you can do regardless of how much money you have. It doesn't take a lot of money to be able to go and do these things. It's simply maybe buying the ingredients, buying the things that you need to make Christmas decorations. Sometimes it's food. Like you can make a sourdough, or not a sourdough, some type of dough and like put a handprint in it. A salt dough, that's what it is. A salt dough handprint or footprint or, stars or whatever they want to make with cookie cutters. Or maybe just gas money is the only other thing that you have to use for all this stuff. It's not going to cost you a lot. It's going to be cheap, but it's going to be so much more fun because you get to use your imagination. You get to see your children grow and expand and make their own connections when it comes to this. You get to make traditions with them and teach them how to give with a giving spirit. Maybe they make their own Christmas presents for family, right? That's another thing that you can do. And it's so much fun. Okay, so I really hope that you enjoyed this episode and that it's really brought to light some of the activities that you can do without having to worry about spending a whole lot of money, right? Because I know that fear can come around and really grab hold of you and kind of make you stuck, make you unable to move forward and really think about anything that you can do because you're so focused on how much money you don't have to do everything that you want to do, right? So instead, take a breath, take a step back, and just look at the simple things that you can do that aren't going to cost a lot of money. Okay. So with that being said, I want to remind you to grab yourself a budget audit so that you can learn what's going on in your budget and you can walk away with the steps that it takes to be able to stick to your budget, to be able to pay for more than just your necessities, right? Because you don't want to be stuck just living on a bare bones budget, only able to pay for your food, for your gas, for your electric, all that stuff that you need in order to simply live. You want to be able to save. You want to be able to save your money. You want to be able to get out of debt, to go on vacation and have wiggle room, put margin back into your spending so that you're not constantly in fear of something happening like inflation or an emergency happening and not having that emergency backup, right? You want to be able to save up for that emergency, whatever it could be. So I want you to go and send an email to mollybennell@gmail.com, simply letting me know that you would like to book a budget audit. That's MOLLY, B as in boy, ENELL @gmail.com. And with that being said, I am super excited to see what it is that you come up with. So maybe bring your ideas over to the free Facebook group so that I can see what fun activities and traditions that you do as a family. So with that being said, I will see you right back here next week on another episode of the One Income Family Podcast. Before you go, I hope this episode has ignited a fire inside of you, and I pray that it creates long-lasting impact. Did you know that you too can impact other one-income families? All you have to do is leave a written review and you help get the podcast in the hands of other mamas in need. You can also text this episode to that friend who is also knee-deep in the same kind of chaos as you and inspire them to make a change. Also, your review lets me know that you're enjoying the show, and that lights me up. I get so excited to hear from you. Another great way that we can connect, though, is through the One Income Family community over on Facebook. So after you're done leaving that 5-star review, head on over to the community where you will find other mamas working their way out of the chaos. You can ask your questions and connect with others who truly understand what you are going through. I cannot wait to connect with you in the community. Until then, I will see you right here next week on another episode of the One Income Family Podcast.